Hello and welcome to Chai with Lakshmi. In today's webisode, you're meeting one of the country's rare few non-profits that's working to support junior athletes based completely on their talent just when they need the support to get to the next level. GoSports Foundation offers young athletes mentoring and scholarships, which include training funds, sponsored equipment, sponsored nutrition consultations, and more. The managing trustee, Nandan Kamath, speaks to us about the foundation.
Myself and a few of the other people who founded this and who now work with this have been passionately involved with sport as youngsters growing up, and I think really appreciated the role that sports played in making us the people we are, giving us experiences that we got. I myself played cricket at the junior level. My colleagues were swimmers, tennis players and others who really, I think, went through all of the lessons that sport has to give you when you're a young person, but also eventually had to deal with some of the tough decisions a youngster has to make between education and sport. It pretty much was a binary choice at that point. So I think that's really the place it came from, personal experiences and a desire to make a larger contribution to an area which we got a lot out of. Really want to make this a platform where other people who are like-minded contribute either through professional skills, through monetary support, sponsorship and other things, but really build a platform where this is front and center of an organization which believes in sport, believes in sporting talent and really helping young talented kids to make a career of sport, which has been quite a significant challenge so far.
And when it comes to engaging other people outside of the core team, how has the response been?
So I think we started off obviously as this being sort of a very personal project. We were supported by family, friends. More recently, as I think you're aware, we've launched the Space Scholarship program, which is really a very formal and structured program for young Olympic talent in a specific number of sports. So we're in the middle of that selection process. We've got a number of applications. We've got over 150 applications for what is eventually going to be about 20 scholarships. And I think just this formal structure, understanding that it's much more than just getting sponsorship and money, but actually building that little ecosystem where you have the support, you have constant mentorship from senior athletes, you have access to a physiotherapist, you have access to a mental trainer, nutritionist, and those are really the building blocks. So I think it was a big step to begin to formalize this, and really that's resonated well with people, both sponsors, corporate sponsors, other people in the sporting system who really, we've got many people come and say, I just want to help you. So we're not looking at this as a commercial opportunity. Ultimately, we are a non-profit. So I think just that resonance with other people has been fantastic for us to see.
What figures are we talking about here? What numbers are we talking? What does it cost, per scholarship?
So I think, for just to take a step back, for a young athlete, I think the family or the athlete himself spends, let's say, 3, 5, even 10 lakhs a year, depending on where they are in their development. So it's a significant cost for the average middle class or even sort of upper middle class family to bear. Right now we're going with about 5 lakhs for each of the sports. So any corporate or sponsor, anyone who wants to adopt a sport in some sense, pays us 5 lakhs and has in some sense the co-branding of that scholarship. So there is some value to being a sponsor of a particular domain. They get the opportunity to interact with those athletes and really feel ownership for having grown a little sporting discipline and youngsters coming through the system there. So we're still talking about small numbers. The package itself is probably much more valuable than that. Got so much of the overlays, so partners willing to provide products and equipment, and then all these professionals coming in to provide expertise. So as a result, the package is much more than just sort of the commercial value. So, but it's a stepping stone to hopefully bigger things.
That's great. So if you were to think of sort of people you've supported, athletes you've met since starting up this foundation, which would be a story that sort of struck a chord with you more deeply than the rest, let's say?
So I think each athlete's story is different, but I think I wouldn't like to point out any one over the other, but I think you just find that athletes have fantastic personal stories and personal journeys that they've come through. Even sort of the darkest of times, the darkest of backgrounds, ultimately the sporting talent really shines through. So it's great to see the purity of approach, and I think that's something that's very refreshing for all of us to see. When someone is talented and someone just wants to go and explore their talent, there's a process, I think, of self-actualization, and at the same time just sort of personal, being in touch with yourself and touch with your talents. And I think that's really refreshing and great for us to see. And in many senses, all of the achievements of these young athletes and recognizing where they come from just gives us a lot of joy. So I think our role is really to guide it through, to remove some of the obstacles, to make that path easier. It's never easy, but to just be that sort of elder sibling, playing that role at important times.
Sure. Sharath Gaikwad is a para swimmer who won a bronze at the Asian Para Games and holds a few national records. His talent and hard work have won him the support of the foundation. So what's it meant to have the support of GoSports Foundation?
It's helped me a lot over the past 1 year because before GoSports I was just only into training, and I didn't have much knowledge about all the other things like how to organize yourself, about the diets. Actually, GoSports sponsored me to participate in German International Championship, and that's where I got my qualifying mark for the Paralympic Games.
What has it meant to you to run this foundation?
So,
to you as an individual?
To me as an individual, I think it's one of the things that brings me most joy. So I've been very lucky to have different associates along the way who in some sense share that vision. And we have a fantastic team very dedicated to it. So I just feel like it's such a great opportunity to do something for individuals who are talented, but also just in some sense nation building as well, because
absolutely,
ultimately good sporting talent brings pride to the country, brings so much joy to so many others. And I think when you see a sporting performance or anything done at a very high level, it really is a very personal and sort of beautiful experience.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on Chai with Lakshmi.
Pleasure. Thank you, Lakshmi.
Whatever you shared has been absolutely fascinating and inspiring. I think you're very right in saying that it's a nation-building exercise. Baby steps, but a long way that you've covered already in the first 4 years of the foundation. Absolutely. So good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
And to all the athletes you're going to be supporting.
We will need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you also for joining us on this webisode of Chai with Lakshmi.